Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a beautiful day at the edge of the Everglades. I'm Drew Bartlett, Executive Director for the South Florida Water Management District, and it's my privilege to MC this incredible event. Another incredible milestone supported by Governor DeSantis to really make Everglades restoration happen while everyone else is living here in South Florida to enjoy the Everglades. I'd like to recognize a couple board members. We do have Alligator Ron Bergeron, we have Charlotte Roman, and we have Ben Butler as board members here. Thank you for your support. Great leaders at the Water Management District. We also have from Senator Rubio's office, Carolina Gonzalez. Where is she? Over there. We have from State Rep Jim Mooney's office, Elsa Rodriguez. And from Congressman Carlos Jimenez's office, Claudia Cardenas. Sorry, I butchered that. So we also have from Accurcio Farms, Sam Accurcio himself, joining us today, who's been a strong advocate for this project for a very long time. So we've got a great speaker list for you today, but we've been here before. 3 months ago, we cut a ribbon on the first phase of this seepage wall, 2.3 miles, just around the corner over there. And I'm here to tell you that wall is working. There's a story Jennifer Reynolds told me that there's obviously people in the 8.5 square mile area that call and talk to the Corps and talk to the district about operations. Well, right the day after Hurricane Ian dropped a lot of rain in this area, that one of the persons that's a routine caller called her and said, "It rained like heck, but I mowed my lawn the next day." And that could never have happened in the past. These things are working. It's very exciting. Now, there's no more exciting backdrop than a giant chainsaw. And this is one of 9 of these trenchers in the world. And I'm happy to say that this is the biggest trencher in the world to go along with the biggest ecosystem restoration project in the world. Very exciting. And if you stick around after the shovels, we're going to turn it on for you. That's right. This thing is 500,000 pounds and it's 1,200 horsepower. Very exciting piece of machinery. So, without further ado, let's get on with this ceremony. My first speaker, some of you might have heard of him, Alligator Ron Bergeron.
Well, howdy, everybody. Always wonderful to get up in the morning and be in the beautiful Everglades, one of the natural wonders of the world. Before I get on the subject of the importance of the wall, I want to compliment Pedro, your event, 75 years, Everglades National Park, 1947. What a great protection of our natural resources. And I will say that's one of the nicest events I've ever been to, Pedro, the way you did all of that. And as I was driving down there, I was basically just thinking that I entered Everglades National Park in 1946 with a grandfather that was a game warden. And thank God for our forefathers that had the vision to protect this beautiful area. I'm really honored to be here today. You know, as we continue to go forward with Everglades restoration, the largest environmental restoration in the history of the world, there's been a lot of planning. As everyone well knows, that we built 3.6 miles of bridges. We accelerated the 333 North, which wasn't beginning to start to 2026. It's finished to move more water south. And one of the most important things as we move forward is that we're always looking at the global Everglades. From the northern to the heart of the Everglades, Lake Okeechobee, the central Everglades, and the southern Everglades, Everglades National Park in Florida Bay. And one of the biggest components is modified water delivery. Getting the right quantity, quality, timing, and distribution of where water flows naturally. We're on the threshold, especially with projects that we're here today to celebrate, to be able to keep water in Everglades National Park and protect the urban areas. I want to thank the miners for building the first 5 miles and being able to prove that today we can design things to continue to have economical growth, which is important, but at the same time, protect our natural resources. This particular seepage wall that's going to go northbound and connect to the seepage wall that runs off the Tamiami Trail will let us be able to implement modified water delivery, stage 1, which is 1 foot higher in the L29, and deliver water to Everglades National Park in Florida Bay. So important to get the proper quantities, stop the flooding of the Central Everglades and drowning of our wildlife while seagrass is dying in Florida Bay. Our partners, the U.S. Corps and South Florida Water Management and all of our stakeholders, it's all about we and the DEP, all our state agencies, as we communicate together and we look at the global system, and as we move forward in Everglades restoration, we will succeed. So what we're doing, we removed the old Tamiami Trail, blocking the S12s. Now we put into 333 North. You can double the volume running south. And now with these seepage walls, we're able to run year-round at the first stage of modified water delivery. Once we raise the Tamiami Trail within the next couple of years, we'll be able to raise the L29 to 9.5, 9.7, and reestablish at an average rain year 1,500,000 acre feet that flowed to Florida Bay. So we're also designing culverts in the L28. We're remodeling the Tamiami Trail west of the L28. We have an 80-mile face that water flowed by gravity, and we have to reestablish that. And as we look west of the L28, we're looking to put in maybe animal crossings, box culverts, so we have underpasses. At the same time, we reestablish that natural flow. So thanks to all of you, all of our stakeholders. Thank you for the love you have for this beautiful environment. I want to thank all of our federal partners and state partners and all of our stakeholders. So God bless all of you, and long live the Everglades.
Thank you. As Alligator Ron said, it is about partnerships and everyone coming together to get this done. And of course, we wouldn't even be here without the support of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. And so very happy you made the trek down here. Adam Blalock, Deputy Secretary, Florida DEP.
Good morning, or it's close to afternoon. Really glad to be here to be able to represent the department. I was here for the ribbon cutting, but I definitely had to come back for this to be able to see that in person. Pictures definitely don't give it justice, but it's glad to be here at the department. You know, we helped fund this project, roughly $15 million, and the reason we're able to do that is because of the advocacy and support of the governor and the legislature to fund Everglades restoration, and to see what the next 4 years is going to do for Everglades restoration is really exciting. Since I've been on this position for just at 3 years now, I never would have thought to have been involved in everything that's occurred over those 3 years, and I know the next 4 years will continue to push for Everglades restoration and doing projects like this that will mitigate flooding and allow for those projects to be fully implemented and move as much water into the Everglades and Florida Bay as possible. So glad to be here, and good to see everybody, and I know, get that thing started. So I'll stop and let the next person talk. So thank you.
Thank you. A friend to all of us, a great partner, someone that has been advocating for the Everglades his entire career. Very glad you could make it here, Pedro. It wouldn't be any other way. Pedro Ramos, Superintendent, Everglades National Park. Please.
All right, everybody, and here we are again. When I got here, I said to myself, wow, that machine looks like the biggest machine I've ever seen. I actually didn't know that it is the biggest machine in the world. That's pretty cool. We do need to put the Florida flag up there. I love Texas. Nothing wrong with Texas. But I think we need to at least get one of those magnetic ones. Even if it's temporary, I'm sure the contractor, is the contractor here? Don't take it personal. We just love our state. Go Florida. So thank you, Drew, and your team, and all of the board members for inviting me to be here with you once again. Thank you, Alligator, and all of the board members for all that you do. Thanks to everybody under the tent, not just the district folks that sat present that day. It was a really special day. It felt that way. And it is about we. It definitely is. A couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago, we celebrated 75 years of history and achievements in caring for Everglades National Park. But we also celebrated our partnerships and our friendships that make it all possible. And even more importantly, what we did that day was really set the table, and we set it well for the next 75 years. That's what I think the significance of the celebration a week and a half ago was, setting the table well for those who come after us. We cannot underestimate the power of coming together like this, not only to celebrate, but also to hold ourselves accountable to do more. And, you know, I don't want to sound a little greedy here today, this morning, in saying that we want more, but that's what we want. We want more. The fact is that there's a lot of work ahead of us still. And now that we finally achieved the kind of momentum that we have, we must take advantage of this moment to drive even harder towards that finish line. There is still a sense of urgency. I love what was said at the celebration 2 Saturdays ago. And what was said was that we should keep the foot on the gas. And then somebody came up and said, maybe we should just take the brake off the car altogether. I like that a lot. This project right here is critical, and I am grateful that the district continues to push hard with our partners at the Corps and everybody else, as Alligator said, extending miles of seepage wall to what you've already constructed. And I don't exaggerate when I say that this is what will allow us to restore the Everglades. You mentioned Mount Waters. That was one of the largest projects that the National Park Service nationally has ever funded at a $500 million price tag years ago. My counterparts, other superintendents around the country, were very, very mad at Everglades National Park because we took all of the money. It was for good reason, and everybody understood. But without this wall, without this work that we're doing with that big machine, we would not be able to benefit from all of those investments that we and you and all of us have made. It is the only way to deliver the water that Florida Bay requires. It's not a matter of need. It requires it over the next 75 years and beyond to be healthy, which is what we want. Let's continue to advance our collective work, and let's continue to be inclusive in the way that we plan, design, and deliver these projects. These projects are not only about us, all of the agencies that are under this tent. These projects will ensure our indigenous people, and I was so happy to see them under our tent at the park that day. It will ensure that the indigenous people of Florida will be able to thrive well into the future. These projects will ensure that our neighboring communities will be able to be safe from flooding and will have clean drinking water to drink. These projects will ensure our fisheries are healthy and can provide the food that we need and the economic input that we must have to continue our livelihood as good as we have it today here in Florida. So I challenge us all to continue to work together to bring new people under this tent, because in the end, they will be the stewards of whatever it is that we leave behind for them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So while the agencies do a lot of the work, it wouldn't be possible without public interest and the public engaging and making sure that everyone knows how important restoring the Everglades is. And no one does that with more passion than our next speaker, Eric Eikenberg with the Everglades Foundation. Thanks for coming, Eric.
Thank you, Drew, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you all again out here in a special part of the Everglades. I was listening as Alligator Ron and Pedro mentioned Mod Waters, modified the delivery schedule, authorized by Congress in 1989. When you talk about the 8.5 square mile, for the last 25 years or so, this issue has popped up more times than we want it in an effort to deliver water flowing south from the Everglades, the river of grass that Marjorie Stoneman Douglas so eloquently opined on, under the beautiful bridges now of Tamiami Trail into this exceptional park, 75 years young, and ultimately down to the fishing capital of the world, Florida Bay. That dream is now a reality, and this next phase of this critical project will ensure that the eastern part of Everglades National Park, a park that was expanded under President George H.W. Bush, enables fresh water to work its way in the direction that God created. I want to thank also Governor DeSantis. His leadership has been critical to having these type of events take place, and there have been many, not even 4 years. We have yet to hit the 4-year mark, and all of this activity is just amazing. I want to thank Chauncey Goss and the district governing board members that are here, Alligator Ron, Ben Butler, Colonel Roman, your colleagues who are not here. You all, with Drew Bartlett, have cemented yourselves now. You've solidified your position in the history of Everglades restoration at a board that has rolled up your sleeves to identify the challenges and to seek and obtain the opportunities, and this is a big one. Yes, it is a massive piece of machinery behind me, but this has plagued Everglades restoration for decades. You and the staff of the Water Management District and the contractors that have this important contract are making it happen. So on behalf of the other environmental groups that are here under this tent, other stakeholders, both public, private, this is a great day for America's Everglades. This is an important day. And the return on this investment is incredible. And we will We will, because a day is coming soon when we will pass on to the next generation of Everglades stewards an ecosystem that is preserved not just for this generation, but for many more to come. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. This second phase, is now part of the authorized comprehensive Everglades restoration program. The first phase the district did on their own, but we love partners. We love partners like the Army Corps of Engineers. So thanks for joining us, Todd. Colonel Polk, you're up.
Yes, we do love partners. Thanks so much for being such fantastic partners. That's one of the things I'll talk about here. And, again, thank you, Drew. Thank you, the board, Alligator Ron, Colonel Roman, Mr. Buller. Thank you so much for coming down and all your support. Of course, Pedro, thank you for everything you do with the park. That is why we are here in Everglades. Everglades Foundation, like I said, thank you for all your advocacy. That is really, that advocacy from our public partnership is just unbelievable, unlike anything else you see in the country. And thank you, Adam. Thank you for all the work that you guys are doing up in Tallahassee and all throughout the state. So on behalf of Colonel Booth, I just want to say thank you very much. It's such an honor to come on down here. And I will tell you, like you said, it's amazing to have partners like South Florida Water Management District. You guys are phenomenal. I mean, it's like taking a ride on the bullet train. I look out the window and it's like, ooh, there goes a milestone. Oh, there goes another milestone. It's been fantastic. And we know with our speed at times that if we don't have a partner like that, it may feel like a much slower train. So, it's an amazing day to knock out that first phase of the seepage wall. And we saw everything it did. And again, like you said, part of the first portion now is part of CEPP, part of the Comprehensive Everglades, obviously restoration plan, but the Central Everglades project as well. And I'm so glad that you guys allowed me to speak on the facts and figures, let the engineer do that. So just some of the things that we've done under the combined operations plan since we implemented in September 2020. So in 2020, we had moved a record 1.6 million acre feet south of Tamiami Trail. That was pretty phenomenal. And we turned around the next year in a less water year in 2021, put about 1.4 million acre feet under the trail. And thus far this year, we've put 1.4 million acre feet under the trail. And that's just phenomenal. Again, without flooding out, we've just not been able to do that ever before. This next year is going to be extremely exciting too. We're going to cut the ribbon officially on the Herbert Hoover Dike and everything we've done around Lake Okeechobee. We'll start managing under the LOSOM, and then we're finally going to break ground on the federal portion of the EA reservoir about that last week of February. So looking forward to see everyone there again. Yeah, long time coming. And again, thanks for everyone's support here and to see the further success to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Polk. I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize Vijay Mishra, who is our project manager over on the end. He has been out here every week making this thing happen. And is Lucine here? Lucine Dadrian, there she is. Very much involved in making this happen at the staff. And then we have Akin Awosina, whose staff modeled it to make sure we could do it right and got it underway. So great staff at the Water Management District. And I just kind of want to reflect, as Pedro was, on these folks at the Water Management District are there for the mission. They're not there to get rich. It is very gratifying to be able to take your life that you're given one of and take that career, which is 30 to 40 years, if you're lucky, to try to look back on it and say, I did that. That's the difference. It's the whole saying, we're borrowing the earth from our children, and you want to give it to them in a better shape. And so to be at the district right now is a very special time because we are able to see the differences we're making. We're able to put our hands on it, feel it, see it, and then tell our families, right, that a difference is happening in the Everglades, and we're very, very proud of it. With the funding we're getting from Governor DeSantis, this particular groundbreaking marks number 55 of the projects where we either broken ground, cut a ribbon, or hit a major milestone. 55 in the 4 years. We started counting at 37. I didn't think we'd get to 55, but we did. Yeah, and that's what makes this very exciting. So let's use these shovels. Let's break this ground and get this project started. All right, speakers, join me up here. Board members, join me up here to do this ceremony.